I have got 10 forever freshies. What do I mean by that? I mean, these are fresh fragrances that last forever. That's right. From now to kingdom come, you will smell amazing with just one bottle of these, my friends. Obviously, they don't last forever, but you may know that fresher fragrances, especially, citrus fragrances, they don't tend to last a very long time. That's because fresher fragrance notes, the same thing that gives that impact of that kind of fresh, clean, effervescent kind of a feel, is the same quality that causes them not to last a very long time. Those particular fragrance molecules are diffusive. That means they're lifting off of your skin as they are impressing other people and as you're engulfed in that wonderful fragrance cloud, but then they're gone after a short time. Well, each of these in the video today definitely have a significant amount of freshness, and they're not going to be gone in 3 or 4 or 5 hours. Many of these will last 10 hours. Each of them is going to easily last 8 hours, and for freshies, that's actually really good. So we're going to get into this list. Before we do, remember to get fresh with the like button and give it a click if you like the video. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. Let's get fresh. Well, never mind. We'll get into the list. This is one that I've talked about a lot. I love it. I've gushed about it. It's so good and so unique. And this is probably the most powerful, long-lasting fragrance in the video and possibly in my entire collection. I'm talking about this one right here, Kenzo Homme EDP, the 2022 version. This is fire in a bottle. Of course, it smells nothing like fire. It's not hot and spicy, but it is amazing. This is basically an aquatic blue fragrance. Okay, that's fine. But it has a powerful, realistic leather note front and center, the star of the show. It's got a similar kind of body and impact in the blue fragrance portion as something like a Dylan Blue, but this leather note, it's just such a clash, those two accords, but it works so beautifully well. I love it. It lasts forever. It'll stay on your clothes for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it will stay on your skin in the way that my biology perceives it. I will smell it for 14 hours. Really good stuff right here. Kenzo Homme EDP 2022. This one's a couple years old, but it is still as good as the day I bought it. I'm talking about Mancera Intense Cedrat Boise. You can see I've worn a lot of it, and that takes some doing, in I don't know, a year and a half since I've had it. This is one of the best citrus fragrances ever made. You've got citruses as well as some other fruits that kind of make up the majority of the fragrance, but then you've got some woods, you've got some leather, you've even got a touch of oud in this fragrance that gives it some real body and some real weight. It is in the family of something like a Creed, a Ventus, or even Shane Hasavat, although to me, this is the brightest, happiest of them all, and I actually prefer it over those other DNAs as well. Love this stuff, Intense Cedrat Boise, and really good performance on this one as well. That's why it's in the video. Next up, another one that's been out for a while, and we will get to some newer stuff later in the video, but this one, it probably still is my favorite blue fragrance, even though a number of flankers have come out since this one. I'm talking about EDP, another one that, I wear regularly, as you can see. This is the most wonderful combination of some citrus. I believe it's grapefruit with some ginger, and then that's kind of the opening. It's a very sparkly, bright, effervescent opening. But then in the heart, you've got some juniper berry, you've got some sage, some geranium, this very aromatic heart that gives this texture to this fragrance that is unlike anything else that I have. Still to date, out of all the clones that I've got, a ton of this fragrance and a couple of the flankers, none of them capture the magic of this fragrance. Again, EDP, such a beautiful and very long-lasting, very strong projecting and sillage blue fragrance from Yves Saint Laurent. Next, we will go with this one here. This one's been talked about quite a bit, but it is a beast, and it had to be in this video. I'm talking about Lattafa Atlas. This is a very unique, musky, aquatic fragrance. It is basically citrus with a little bit of an aromatic feel and a ton of salty, musky power. It's aquatic, as in like a marine salty aquatic, with a very prominent musk. I don't know, I know the names of a couple musk, and I don't know which one this is, but it's such a powerful musk that it's a fragrance chemical, so it's not an overly natural smelling fragrance, but it is very, very unique. It is nuclear strong. 3 sprays is all you need. That's going to cover you for about 12 to 14 hours. It projects, and this is the kind of fragrance that, even though the first few times I wore it, I was kind of iffy on it, it's the kind of fragrance you will crave after a while if you haven't worn it in a while. Again, Lattafa Atlas. All right, next up, we'll go with this one, a new release from Fragrance World, actually from French Avenue, one of their higher end lines. This is Arsh Extrait. It's an extrait, so it's going to be strong, and it's an alternative to Guerlain L'Homme Ideal, but specifically Platine Privé. Now that's one that I never got to smell, but it was a green citrus flanker to that line. So there is an almond note in this fragrance, but it's not that sweet powdery almond that you get in the others. It's more of a green almond, like an underripe almond. And then you've got a good bit of woodiness. You've got a very distinct green quality and a lot of powerful, bright citrus. It is a fragrance that is in a similar family to a couple others that I'm going to mention, but if you want a sweet, green, powerful, bright, aromatic fragrance that's going to last a long time, right here it is, Arsh Extrait. Next, we'll go with this one right here, again, in a similar kind of family, but with some real distinctives as well. This one is an alternative to Louis Vuitton L'Immensity, which has been cloned to death now, but this is still, I think, one of the best ones with great performance. This is Maison Alhambra's Jean Lowe Immortel. And this is another citrus aromatic fragrance. That is the category of fragrance that it belongs to. It is not quite as green as Arsh Extrait, and it's got a little bit of a different kind of citrus, maybe a little bit more of a tart citrus and not as sweet as the one that I just showed you, but I would say they probably have like 70% similarity. And so again, it's in a family of fragrance that I would recommend you have one of this style of fragrance in your collection. Maybe you only want to have 6 or 8 fragrances. Something like this will do you right. And I don't know if this is true, but I've been told the bottles that have Immortel spelled like this with an EL at the end have very good performance. And I don't know about the other ones that were spelled, I think, more like Immortal. But I can tell you this one right here, great performance. 3 sprays is all that you need, and it easily lasts 8 hours. Jean Lowe Immortal or Immortel. And the third one in a similar kind of category, although this one again is quite different than the last 2, this is Afnan Turathi Blue. This is an alternative to Bulgari Tigar, and this is at its heart a blue fragrance, but it's got a bit of a green edge that will remind you of the last 2. But there's that kind of amber woods woodiness, that fresh, clean, incredibly versatile blue fragrance DNA, but with a little something different. The way that the woods are used and that kind of sweet citrus with a lot of greenness in the heart relates it to the other 2 while still definitely being its own thing. It's a great kind of fresh out of the shower kind of fragrance and great performance as well. Afnan Turathi Blue. These next couple are nothing like the last 2 that I showed you, but this one is an alternative to another Louis Vuitton fragrance. It's an alternative to Pacific Chill. This is Luciano Coastal Breeze, and this is a very interesting fragrance. It is also an extrait, and it's got excellent performance for a freshie. It is kind of a somewhat marine aquatic. It's got that kind of a cool, dense, deep, slightly marine feel, but there is a fig note, there's an apricot note, there's a good bit of a dense fruitiness, like a stone fruits kind of a fruitiness mixing with that fresh kind of beachy feel. I wouldn't call it a tropical fragrance, but I would actually call it a coastal kind of a feel fragrance. The way that the air feels kind of damp and cool in the mornings at the coast, you get something like that in this fragrance. Again, Luciano Coastal Breeze, really good stuff. And, you know, this is about a $35 fragrance versus $350 from Louis Vuitton. So the choice is yours. Next up, this one's pretty unique. This is another one from Mancera. This is Lemon Lime. And this fragrance has a unique lemon heads kind of lemony sweetness that actually gives you the impression of a lemon candy kind of a sweetness. There's also some orange in there. It's not only lemon, but there's a lot of aromatics in here. There is some geranium, there's some lavender, there's some oak moss. So there is, you know, that kind of fresh, spicy, and even oak mossy feel that, you know, will connect it a little bit to things like a Ventus, although it's definitely not an Ventus dupe. But there is something unique that sets it apart from a lot of citrus fragrances. It's a Mancera. It's got good performance. It's not only that sweet lemon. There's a lot going on with the oak moss and the geranium. So pretty interesting fragrance. One I'll be wearing a lot over the next several months. Mancera Lemon Lime. Finally, to be honest with you, this is a fragrance that to me is incredibly fresh. It is an Ambroxan heavy fragrance. You've got a good bit of black pepper. You've got a distinct metallic accord. You've got wonderful citruses. It is, to me, a fragrance masterpiece, although some of you will scoff at the very suggestion. I love this fragrance. It lasts forever, and I wore it yesterday. It still smells fantastic, and it's my most complimented fragrance of all time. I'm talking about Sauvage EDT. This stuff still smells great. I usually layer it nowadays. Yesterday, I wore it with Coach for Men, another of my very favorite blue fragrances. That one's kind of pear and leather and spice, and this one, you know, citrus and black pepper and metallic ambroxan. It's just a great fragrance. It lasts forever and it works for every situation. And really, there's not as many people wearing Sauvage now as there was 5 years ago, so it's not as played out as it used to be. You can't go wrong with this one, in my opinion. Leave your hate down in the comments and I'll love you anyway. That's been my list of 10 Forever Freshies, but let me know a couple of yours down below. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to get fresh with the like button or apologize if you did later, and give it a click if you liked the video. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Justin. This is Sillage Scents. I'll see you on the next one.